Hey guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler here. I have a bag of cutlery, flatware, utensils, knives and forks. They're old things. I haven't really had a good look in it. When you're a second-hand dealer in a local town for a long time and you're into recycling, people obviously get to know that, and when they're cleaning up, sometimes they don't want anything for things, they just want to make sure it's not thrown out. Someone gave me this bag full of cutlery and said, $5? I said, absolutely, let's have a look and see what I got for my $5. Now, I do enjoy going through bags of old cutlery, and when we clean out houses in the cutlery drawers, we often find pretty good stuff. Looks like the bag's had it, so we might as well just tear it open. And it's kind of, it's fun. It's a lucky dip, it's a treasure hunt. But when I did have a peek in the top and saw some bone-handled knives, I knew there was pretty good value, and I didn't even bother look any further. I just said, yeah, $5, no problems. Let's sort it out and see what we got. There's going to be a bit of rubbish. There's going to be a bit, well, probably a lot of just normal silver plate items, EP&S, which you can actually sell as brass because they're an alloy of copper. But I usually put $1 each on these in the shop. So even, in fact, I had a guy in the other day that bought them to play the spoons. And I don't know how to do it, but he gave me a bit of a demo and they sounded really good. So $1 each for just the plain EP&S, which stands for electroplated nickel silver. They're just silver plate over a base metal, which is an alloy of copper and a few other things. So even at $1 each, we're going to have our money back on some spoons. All right, I might just tip the bag out and then we'll sort it all out. Probably use a magnet first up. Okay, what an assortment. Well, hopefully, I always live in hope, and sometimes I'm rewarded that we actually find sterling silver, and the price of silver has gone sky high at the moment, as is the price of gold, and we'll do really well if we can find some sterling silver. Probably not, but worth a look. So we're going to have a fair bit of stainless steel. I think most stainless steel cutlery is magnetic, so I'm just going to use a magnet to sort that out. With the stainless, just normal stainless spoons, teaspoons, knives, forks. We usually sell them at 3 for $1. They do sell to campers, and people are always looking for teaspoons. So I'll just pull all the stainless steel ones out. That one's not quite as magnetic. Yes, it is. And that should reduce the quantity a fair bit. I won't put you through the trauma of watching me do all this. We'll come back to you when we've got all these ones out. Well, with that all sorted out, we can see most of the weight was just magnetic stainless steel, not of much value. These knives are magnetic stainless steel, but there's a set of 6 of them, and they've got the Australian coat of arms on them, so they may well have been government issue knives. They feel quite weighty. I think they're pretty good quality, so they'll be worth selling as a set. All these knives over here, unfortunately, only had, well, this would have been the best had it been in better condition, because these shaped blades and the squarer type handles do sell very well. I get $10 each for those, but the handle's very rough, so not much value there. This is another one that hasn't got the squarer look to it, but I still get about $8 for these, and that handle will clean up a little bit better, so that's okay. The rest of these, they're still what they refer to as bone handle, even though they're not real bone. It's a faux bone. They were made from quite a few different products, artificial products like xylonite or celluloid, and also some of them are bakelite, but these ones have fine lines in it to imitate ivory, so it's most likely xylonite. They were also made from a milk protein casein, and formaldehyde, I think, made a plastic. Consequently, they don't last if you put them in the dishwasher or wash them in hot water. Even their xylonite breaks down, I think. But that's still not a bad set, and that's actually branded Grosvenor. If you can see that, there we go. So stainless steel blade, but the faux bone handle. There is a full set of 6 of the little ones and then 4 of the large ones, but I think that will sell quite well anyway. I'll clean them up. This longer one is a carving knife. It's been sharpened to within an inch of its depth, actually less than an inch. It's probably, it's a bone handle, or a faux bone handle. That will clean up a bit better. So that's of some value. It will be English. I couldn't see a mark on it immediately. It might have been sharpened off. The rest of these are all non-magnetic, and they're pretty well all going to be just silver plate, but I will check through them in a minute. I did a video ages ago on looking out for silver cutlery. I'll link that below. There's a lot of ways to tell straight up if you've got silver or not. It can be confusing because some of the silver plate marks resemble hallmarks. The companies were a little bit dodgy in their marketing, and if they make their company logo look like a hallmark, people might think it's real silver. But I don't think we've got any real silver this time. And given that that was the only really good knife and it's in poor condition, there's a fair chance that someone's picked through this and knew what they were looking for first and basically gave me the junk. But I'll still do pretty well for my $5. Also, this thing is stainless steel. It's magnetic stainless steel, and it's not a petrol cap or a radiator cap. It is actually a kitchen item. It's a milk boiler, and the idea with these is that you put them in the bottom of your saucepan, that way up, and it stops the milk frothing over. Now, if you've ever boiled milk on a gas stove or an electric hot plate, or tried to warm milk and you turn away for a second and it froths over and makes a hell of a mess, this will stop that. And what it does is it gathers all the tiny bubbles underneath, and they kind of then form into bigger bubbles, and this releases a few bigger bubbles every so often, which obviously get rid of all the air in the liquid, and it stops the milk frothing over. So I'll get $5 for that. I think I'll get my money back on that one. Let's sort out the silver plate stuff. I'll show you if there's any interesting marks or, you know, fake hallmarks, we might say. But at least I can sell these ones. I can sell those ones. I still should be able to sell those. Well, certainly that one. We'll get some money back on these at $1 each, if nothing else. And all this stuff I'll probably just put in a box at the shop. I don't think there was anything else that, you know, I particularly thought was worth selling separately. I do look out for, sometimes you get military ones, you get aircraft ones, and certainly the government issue ones will sell. Occasionally you get splades, which are a combination of a spoon, a fork and a knife, and they sell quite well. But these are all pretty ordinary general purpose cutlery. Some of them look silver plated. In fact, that may have even been silver plated, but it's not your standard EPNS. It's just plated over steel. All sorted, and I have washed up the knives as well. There are 33 items here. These spoons at the end were non-magnetic, but they are actually just stainless steel. I could put them in my stainless steel bin. I'm better off trying to get $1 for 3 of them, and they'll probably sell, so they can go in there. We had 33 of these electroplated nickel silver spoons. Most of them are marked EPNS or similar. That one says, I'll get your photo, nickel silver Sheffield wear right, I think it is. And most of the others are, sometimes they say A1 or A, which is the grading of the plate. And like I said, the video I did a few years back shows all the details there, but most of these are Grosvenor plate, and they just say that on the back. So 33 of them. They actually weigh almost 1.5 kilos, and I could sell them as brass, as I said. So there's probably about $13 in scrap just on that lot. So I've done all right for my $5 really, but I'll put them at the shop at $1 each. If we get about $30, well, we're well ahead of scrap price. As for these ones, well, they cleaned up pretty well. All these Grosvenor ones are quite clean and fairly well polished. They're not too scratched up. I cleaned the handles just with a light scourer. I didn't want to scratch them up too much. I did use some steel wool on this bad one here, and it cleaned up a lot better. Steel wool is quite abrasive, but sometimes to get these bone handles or faux bone back to presentable condition, you need to do that. That's a really nice knife, and had that been in better condition, yes, $10. I'll put that in the $5 box at the shop, as with the other one there, and probably the carving knife as well. So that would be $15. I think I'd ask $20 for these government ones. Sorry, 10 I think. I'll go $10 on these set of government issue knives. and 20 for this set, even though we're missing 2 of the larger ones. So that would be 20, 30, 45, $5 for the milk boilers, $50, potentially $30 back out of here, $80, and whatever we get out of here is an absolute bonus. So yeah, I think I did all right for my $5. So there you go, a quick little sorting out video, the sort of stuff I do nearly every day at the shop. I'm buying stuff, we're doing house lots, sometimes people just are happy to give stuff to us. Sometimes they want a figure, sometimes they want too much and we say good luck, but it just comes in all the time. So as most of you all know, I've been doing this in town for over 25 years now. You get known, and particularly I think people like it that I try to keep most of the stuff out of landfill, and people are actually happy to give me stuff because they know I'll rehome it. So that's kind of good. With these cutlery lots, I find silver a lot. And just to give you an idea, a standard fork like that, I found a sterling silver fork not that long ago. It's probably $120 or so worth of silver, depending on how heavy it is. The price of silver's gone up a lot. It will continue to. I think it's a good investment. I'm keeping all my silver. And you only need to find one, and you're well ahead. So I love going through these. Nothing particularly good in this one, but it gives you a bit of an idea of where I can get some money back anyway on cutlery that I suspect has been picked through, but there's still some nice bits in here. So thanks for watching, guys. It's a bit ironic. I've just finished this, just glancing at the clock. It's almost dinner time. So let's go and get some dinner. Bye for now.